Video begins with a dramatic, cinematic shot of a medieval palace under a red, stormy sky. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something truly epic. We're going to craft a cinematic video prompt, scene by scene, designed to guide an AI in creating a breathtaking fantasy saga. Imagine being able to direct your own movie just by using the power of words. That's exactly what we're doing. Let's start with our first scene, which I call the Dark Prophecy. Picture this, a grand, Gothic medieval palace silhouetted against a sky churning with crimson storms. Inside, the formidable Queen Bavmorda stands before her obsidian throne. She's not just a queen. She's a force of nature, radiating power and ambition. The throne room is vast, filled with dramatic shadows and the flicker of torchlight dancing on stone walls. Lightning cracks outside, illuminating the scene for a split second, revealing the fear and anticipation on the faces of her royal guards. Before her, a frail, ancient sorcerer is hunched over, his voice raspy but clear, echoing in the cavernous hall. He's reciting a prophecy that hangs heavy in the air, a prophecy that will seal the fate of the kingdom. He speaks, "A child, born under the sign of the twin comets, will one day rise and bring about the end of your reign." The words are a death sentence, and you can see the fury ignite in Queen Bavmorda's eyes. The mood we're aiming for here is pure, ominous high fantasy. Think mystical, epic lighting, with an atmosphere so thick with dread you could cut it with a Valyrian steel sword. This is just the beginning, the spark that ignites the entire story. By being this specific with our prompt, we're not just telling the AI what to create. We're giving it the soul of the scene. The emotion, the lighting, the character's internal state, it all matters. In the next part, we'll introduce our unlikely hero and the setting for their escape. How will the queen react to this prophecy? What steps will she take to secure her power? That's what we'll explore. I hope this has sparked your own creative ideas for using AI in storytelling. It's a brand new frontier, and we're the explorers. If you enjoyed this and want to see how the story unfolds, make sure to hit that like button and definitely subscribe so you don't miss the next scene. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. In a kingdom shrouded in shadows, a cruel decree was issued. No female heirs were to be born. Any baby girl who drew breath would be a phantom, a whisper in the wind, gone before she could even be named. Deep within the cold, unforgiving walls of the prison tower, hope was a flickering candle flame, easily extinguished. Here, pregnant women, their faces etched with fear, huddled together, their prayers lost in the damp, stone-clad silence. They awaited not the joy of new life, but the finality of a king's brutal command. Tonight, a new cry pierced the gloom. Not a sound of celebration, but a gasp of terror and love. A mother, her brow slick with sweat, cradled her newborn daughter, a perfect, tiny miracle in a world determined to erase her. The baby's eyes, bright and full of innocent wonder, looked up at her mother, unaware of the death sentence she was born under. Tears streamed down the mother's face, each one a silent plea for a future her child might never see. She knew the guards would come soon, their heavy boots echoing the beat of her own frantic heart. But even in the darkest places, a sliver of light can find its way. A servant, her heart aching with a compassion that defied the king's law, moved through the shadows. Her name was Alara, and she had seen too much sorrow. With gentle hands, she took the infant, swaddling her in soft linens and placing her in a simple wicker basket. "I will not let this darkness claim you," she whispered, her voice a fragile promise against the approaching storm. Outside, the rhythmic march of armored guards grew louder, a chilling drumbeat of doom. Alara clutched the basket, her own life now forfeit, and searched for an escape. This tiny, forbidden life deserved a chance to see the sun. Her every step was a gamble, a defiance against a tyrant, a desperate race against time to save one small, precious soul. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we read diving deep into one of the most heart-wrenching yet beautifully cinematic moments in recent storytelling. The scene known as the River of Fate. If you've been following along, you know the weight of this moment. If you're new, prepare for an emotional journey. Let's set the stage. It's the dead of night. A dense, suffocating fog clings to every ancient tree in the forest. We see her, the loyal servant, her breath coming in ragged bursts, her feet barely finding purchase on the gnarled roots. She's not just running from the darkness. She's running from something asterisk and asterisk the darkness. The guttural snarls and snapping jaws of demonic hunting dogs echo through the trees, getting closer with every agonizing step. In her arms, she clutches the last hope of a fallen kingdom, a single, innocent baby wrapped tightly against the cold. She finally breaks through the tree line, her lungs burning, and arrives at the bank of a river. But this is no ordinary river. Under the pale moonlight, its waters glow with a soft, ethereal light, as if the stars themselves have dissolved into the current. There's a palpable sense of ancient magic here, a sanctuary in the midst of chaos. The air is thick with tragedy, but the shimmering water whispers of hope. With trembling hands, she gently places the infant into a small wooden basket. For a fleeting second, she hesitates. Her gaze lingers on the baby's peaceful face, illuminated by a single perfect moonbeam that cuts through the fog. This isn't just an act of desperation. It's an act of profound faith. She's entrusting this precious life not just to the water, but to destiny itself. It's a sacrifice, a final act of love and loyalty. As she gives the basket a gentle push into the glowing current, the pursuit catches up. We don't see the full horror, but we hear it. A sharp cry, a final, defiant struggle just off-screen. The camera stays fixed on the basket. It doesn't look back. It floats serenely onward, a tiny beacon of life on the shimmering river of fate, carrying an unknown future downstream. The contrast is devastatingly beautiful, the violence of her end, and the peaceful beginning of a new journey. This scene is a masterclass in showing, not telling, leaving us with a powerful mix of sorrow and a fragile glimmer of hope for what is to come. What did you all think of this pivotal moment? Let me know your theories and feelings in the comments below. It was truly a gut punch for me. If you enjoy these deep dives, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. The first light of dawn was just beginning to spill over the rolling green hills, painting the sky in soft shades of rose and gold. In this quiet corner of the world, nestled among mushroom-topped houses and winding cobblestone paths, lived a humble dwarf farmer named Willow. His hands, though calloused from years of tending the earth, were gentle, and his heart was as warm as the morning sun. This particular morning, as Willow stepped out to greet the day, his eyes fell upon something unusual nestled in the tall grass near his doorstep. It was a finely woven basket, out of place in the rustic simplicity of his farm. Curiosity piqued, he approached cautiously. As he drew closer, a soft cooing sound reached his ears, a gentle melody that seemed to harmonize with the waking world. Inside the basket, swaddled in a cloth that shimmered like spun gold, lay a tiny baby. The infant's eyes were closed in peaceful slumber, its chest rising and falling in a steady, gentle rhythm. Willow's breath caught in his throat. He had seen many wonders in his long life, but nothing quite as magical as this. He carefully lifted the basket and carried it inside his cozy cottage. His wife, Ilara, was already by the hearth, her kind face illuminated by the crackling fire. When she saw what Willow carried, her eyes widened in astonishment. A smile, as bright and warm as a summer sunrise, spread across her face. She reached out and gently lifted the baby from its nest of golden cloth. Cradling the infant in her arms, she looked at Willow, her expression a mixture of wonder and profound joy. Outside their small home, the village of Oakhaven was stirring. Cheerful dwarves began their day, their laughter echoing through the valley. Smoke curled from the chimneys of their tiny, whimsical houses, promising warmth and comfort. But inside Willow and Alara's cottage, a new quiet magic had taken root. As they looked down at the mysterious child, they knew with a certainty that settled deep in their bones that their lives had been changed forever. This was not just a lost baby. It was a gift, a miracle delivered by the dawn itself. Thank you for joining us on this part of the journey. If you're enchanted by this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what happens next. We appreciate your support. Scene opens with the vibrant sounds of a village festival. Music, laughter, and chatter fill the air. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the world of Eldoria. Last time, we left our heroes just as they arrived at the annual Midsummer Festival in the heart of the village. The sun is shining, the market is bustling, and spirits are high. Look at this. The entire square is alive with color and energy. We can see merchants hawking their wares, children chasing enchanted butterflies, and the sweet smell of honey cakes wafting through the air. It's the perfect picture of peace. And there, in the center of it all, is our very own Willow, attempting to entertain the crowd with some magic. She's got a small audience, mostly curious children and a few patient elders. She flourishes her hands, trying to conjure a simple illusion, a flock of shimmering birds. But instead of a graceful display, a puff of green smoke sputters from her fingertips, followed by a shower of slightly wilted flower petals. The kids giggle, and Willow just gives a sheepish grin. It seems her control over the wild magic is still, well, a work in progress. It's a charming, slightly embarrassing moment, and you can't help but root for her. But just as she's about to try another, simpler trick, a shadow falls over the entire square. The cheerful music cuts out abruptly. Everyone looks up. The sky, just moments ago a brilliant blue, is now swirling with sickly gray and black clouds, churning as if the heavens themselves are in turmoil. A collective gasp ripples through the crowd. Before anyone can react, a deafening roar shatters the sudden silence. Crashing through the market stalls, a monstrous beast appears. It's a horrifying fusion of scales, fur, and shadow, with eyes that burn like hot coals. Panic erupts. Villagers scream and scatter in every direction, their joy turned to pure terror. A few brave souls, the village guard and some hedge mages, stand their ground. They raise their pitchforks and focus their energy, launching crackling spells of light and force at the creature. The spells sizzle against its dark hide, barely slowing it down. The beast swats a cart aside like a toy and lets out another ground-shaking roar. But its eyes aren't focused on the fighters. They're locked onto something else. Amidst the chaos, the chief magician, an old, wise-looking figure, steps forward. He points a trembling finger not at the beast, but towards a small, abandoned basket. His voice rings out over the din, filled with a mix of fear and awe. The child. It's after the child. That baby, it's special. The camera zooms in on the innocent face of the baby, completely unaware of the monstrous battle raging for its sake. What makes this baby so special? And can Willow and the villagers possibly stop this terrifying creature? You'll have to find out in the next part. Thanks so much for watching, and if you're enjoying this adventure, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. See you all soon. The first light of dawn spills over the jagged peaks, painting the sky in hues of rose and gold. Our journey has begun. With Alara, the child of prophecy, swaddled and safe, we leave the familiar comfort of our village behind. The path ahead is uncertain, a winding ribbon of dirt and stone that disappears into the heart of the ancient mountains. Each step forward is a step into the unknown, a wager against the shadows that linger in the old world. The air grows thin and crisp as we ascend, the world unfurling below us in a breathtaking tapestry of green and gray. Waterfalls, like silver threads, cascade down sheer rock faces, their roar a constant, powerful song that echoes through the misty valleys. It feels as if we are walking through a forgotten age, a time when giants roamed these lands and magic was as common as the air we breathe. We pass the silent sentinels of ancient ruins, stones that have witnessed countless sunrises and hold stories we can only guess at. The weight of our task is heavy, but the grandeur of this wild, untamed land fills our hearts with a sense of profound purpose. There's a quiet determination among us, a shared understanding that we are part of something far greater than ourselves. We are not just a handful of villagers. We are guardians, protectors of a fragile new hope. The forests we traverse are deep and old, their canopies so thick that sunlight struggles to pierce through, dappling the forest floor in shifting patterns of light and shadow. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig, keeps us on high alert. The world is beautiful, yes, but it is also perilous. We press on, our resolve hardened by the mountain winds and our spirits lifted by the promise of what lies at the journey's end. This is more than an adventure. It's the forging of a new legend. Thank you for joining us on this epic quest. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to follow our journey as it unfolds. The sun beats down on the desolate road, the air thick with dust and the silence of the empty plains. And then, a sight so strange it freezes Willow in his tracks. A crow's cage, crudely constructed, sits abandoned in the middle of the path. Inside, a man. Not just any man, but a warrior, his armor battered, his hair matted with dirt, yet his eyes hold a defiant spark that the cage cannot contain. He calls out, his voice rough from thirst, a mixture of arrogance and desperation. He's a swordsman, he boasts, the greatest who ever lived. He can protect the little one, Elora Danon. He just needs to be freed. Willow hesitates. Every instinct, every lesson from the High Aldwin screams at him to walk away. This man, this Madmartigan, radiates danger and unpredictability. He's a wild card, a gamble Willow can't afford to take. But then he looks at the precious baby in his arms, her innocent eyes wide with trust. He thinks of the journey ahead, the dark forces hunting them. He can't do this alone. The Nelwyn are brave, but they are not warriors of this world. This man, for all his flaws, is. With a heavy sigh that seems to carry the weight of the world, Willow makes his decision. He approaches the cage, the lock old and rusted. It takes some effort, but with a final jarring crack, the cage door swings open. Madmartigan stumbles out, stretching his cramped limbs, a grin spreading across his face. For a moment, he just stands there, breathing in the free air. Then Willow does the unthinkable. He steps forward and gently, carefully, places Elora Danon into the arms of the freed warrior. The greatest swordsman who ever lived now holds the fate of the world. The unlikeliest of alliances has just been forged on a dusty, forgotten road, and nothing will ever be the same. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite movie moments. Sound of rustling leaves and tiny chittering laughter. Oh no. What's happening? Suddenly, I'm surrounded. Tiny figures, no bigger than my hand, are swarming all around me. They have pointed ears, wide, mischievous eyes, and they're pulling at my clothes, tugging me deeper into the woods. Brownies. I've heard tales of them, but I never thought they were real. They're surprisingly strong for their size, and there are so many of them. They're chattering in a language I can't understand, their laughter like tiny bells ringing all around me. I try to break free, but it's no use. They've tied my hands with vines that feel as strong as rope. Where are they taking me? The forest around us is beginning to change. The trees are glowing with a soft inner light, and the air is humming with a strange energy. They've stopped. We're in a clearing that pulses with a gentle, ethereal light. The moss on the ground shines like a carpet of emeralds, and flowers I've never seen before bloom in impossible colors. The brownies are all looking up, their mischievous expressions replaced with awe. I follow their gaze, and my breath catches in my throat. Floating above us, bathed in a radiant golden light, is a figure of pure grace and beauty. An angel. Her wings are like spun moonlight, and her eyes hold the wisdom of the stars. The entire forest seems to hold its breath in her presence. She looks directly at me, and her voice isn't spoken, but felt. A melody that resonates deep within my soul. "Do not be afraid, Willow," she communicates, her voice a calm and powerful presence in my mind. The child you protect is no ordinary infant. He is a child of destiny, chosen to bring a new dawn to this world. Her words wash over me, filling me with a sense of purpose I've never known. The fear I felt just moments ago melts away, replaced by a profound sense of peace and understanding. This baby, he's more than just a foundling. He's a promise. The angel extends a hand, and in it, a wand materializes. It's carved from a pale, shimmering wood, and a crystal at its tip glows with a brilliant blue light. It floats down from her hand and gently into mine, the vines binding me dissolving into dust. The wand feels warm, alive, pulsing with a gentle magic. "This will guide and protect you on your journey," the angel's voice echoes. "Trust in your heart, for it is now intertwined with his destiny. You are his guardian." With one final, reassuring smile that shines like the morning sun, she begins to fade, her light dissolving back into the glowing forest until she is gone. The brownies untie me, their eyes now filled with respect. I stand there, holding the glowing wand, the weight of a sacred duty settling upon my shoulders. The journey has truly begun. All right, let's dive into one of the most thrilling and visually spectacular sequences in the entire film. The Queen S hunt and the frantic escape across the snowy mountains. This scene is a masterclass in fantasy action, a high-octane chase that perfectly blends practical effects, stunning stunt work, and pure, unadulterated adventure. So picture this, the pristine, white landscape of the mountains, suddenly scarred by the black armor of Bavmorda's elite soldiers, the Nagmar Hounds. They are relentless, a force of nature almost as harsh as the blizzard itself. And who are they hunting? Our small, desperate band of heroes. The tension is palpable right from the start. You see the carriages, their wheels churning through the deep snow, and you just know things are about to go sideways. And then chaos erupts. The carriages crash and overturn in spectacular fashion, spilling our heroes into the snow. This isn't just a chase. It's a desperate running battle for survival. The sound design here is incredible. The crunch of snow underfoot, the clang of steel on steel as swords clash, and the constant, terrifying whistle of arrows flying past their heads. Every shot is packed with energy and a sense of immediate danger. This is where Madmartigan truly shines. He's no longer just the boastful rogue. He's a protector. Watch how he positions himself, sword in hand, creating a barrier between the soldiers and the precious baby. Elora Danon. His fighting is desperate but skilled, a whirlwind of parries and strikes against multiple opponents. He's outnumbered and outmatched, but his courage is undeniable. He's fighting with every ounce of strength he has, not for glory, but for the life of an innocent child. Meanwhile, Willow Ufgood isn't just cowering in the background. From a distance, you see him, small against the vast, snowy expanse, frantically shouting the words of his spells. Even though his magic is often unpredictable, his determination is unwavering. He's using the only weapon he has to try and turn the tide, to give his friends a fighting chance. It's the classic dynamic of brains and brawn working together against overwhelming odds. This whole sequence is a relentless, fast-paced spectacle that keeps you on the very edge of your seat. It's a perfect example of epic fantasy filmmaking, a desperate flight that solidifies the bonds between our heroes and raises the stakes to a whole new level. It's not just a chase, it's the heart of the adventure. Thanks so much for watching. If you love breaking down classic fantasy scenes like this, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. See you in the next one. The fog clung to the island like a damp shroud, thick and mysterious. I couldn't see more than a few feet ahead, but a voice, clear as a bell, cut through the silence. "Lost, little one?" I spun around, my hand instinctively going to my staff. There, perched on a moss-covered rock, was a cat. A sleek, black cat with eyes the color of emeralds. It blinked slowly. "Didn't your mother ever teach you not to stare?" I gaped. You can talk?" The cat stretched languidly, its claws extending and retracting from the moss. "Of course I can talk. I'm Raziel, or I was. Before some meddling apprentice turned me into this. Feeling cliché. A cursed sorceress, of course. Why did my adventures always lead to things like this?" "Don't worry," I said, my confidence perhaps a bit premature. "I'm pretty good with magic. I can help you." Razel looked unimpressed. "Many have tried, little one. All have failed." I ignored her pessimism, raising my staff. The air crackled, magic swirling around me in a vortex of blue and silver light. I focused all my energy on the image of a powerful sorceress, channeling the spell towards the cat. "Revertus humanus." I yelled. The light flared, blinding me for a second. When my vision cleared, the cat was gone. In its place stood a goat, a very grumpy-looking goat, who promptly tried to eat the hem of my cloak. "A goat?" Razel's voice, now a gravelly bleat, echoed in my head. "You turned me into a barnyard animal?" "Okay, not my finest moment. Let's try that again." I gathered my power, this time picturing Raziel in her true form even more clearly. Corpus reformatio. Another flash of light. The goat disappeared, a loud caw erupted from the branch above me. A crow, a very annoyed-looking crow, was now glaring down at me. "Seriously?" Her voice squawked telepathically. "Now I'm bird food. All right, deep breaths. Third time's the charm, right?" I poured every ounce of remaining power into this final attempt. I visualized a woman, not a cat, not a goat, not a bird. Magica mutatio maxima. The light that erupted this time was immense, shaking the very ground. The crow was engulfed. I shielded my eyes. When the light faded, a low growl rumbled through the clearing. A massive tiger, striped and powerful, paced where the bird had been. It let out a deafening roar. Rizil's voice, now a terrifying internal echo, vibrated in my skull. I think I'll keep this one for a while." She looked at me, a predatory glint in her emerald eyes. "I think I've made a terrible mistake. Thanks for joining me on this magical misadventure. What do you think I should do now? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more of my chaotic magical journey. See you next time. Hello fantasy fans, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving headfirst into one of the most epic and chaotic battle scenes in fantasy film history, the Siege of Tir Aslan from the classic movie Willow. Let's break down the sheer spectacle of this incredible sequence. The scene ignites as the forces of good and evil clash within the ancient crumbling walls of the fortress. It's a desperate last stand, and the tension is palpable. The editing is frantic, throwing us right into the heart of the conflict. We see Nothmar soldiers, monstrous trolls, and two-headed beasts swarming the courtyard. It's pure, glorious mayhem. This is where our favorite scoundrel, Madmartigan, truly steps into his destiny. He's no longer just a boastful salesword. He's a leader. Seeing him don that magnificent golden armor is such a powerful moment. He rallies the remaining soldiers, and his transformation from rogue to hero is complete. He fearlessly charges into the fray, his sword a blur of silver as he cuts down troll after troll. It's a masterful display of swashbuckling action that defines his character arc. But just when you think the heroes might have a chance, the ground trembles and the film unleashes its most terrifying creature, the Ebersisk. This two-headed, fire-breathing, dragon-like monster erupts from a pit, roaring with fury. It's a stunning piece of practical effects and stop-motion animation that still holds up today. The creature spews fire, incinerating everything in its path, and the sheer scale of it creates a true sense of hopelessness for our heroes. The battle for Tyr Asleen is more than just sword clanging and monster fighting. It's a climactic struggle where every character is pushed to their absolute limit. From Willow's desperate magic to Sorcia's change of heart and Madmartigan's heroic stand, this scene is the heart and soul of high fantasy adventure. It's loud, it's messy, and it's absolutely unforgettable. What a masterpiece of 80s fantasy filmmaking. Thanks for watching. If you love breaking down classic fantasy scenes like this, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and let me know your favorite part of this battle in the comments below. See you next time. We've reached the climax, the final showdown in the dark, imposing fortress of Notmar. Inside the Queen's grand hall, the air crackles with malevolent energy. Queen Bavmorda, her face a mask of cruel determination, stands before her sacrificial altar. This is it, the moment she's been waiting for, the ritual to banish the baby Alora Danon from the world forever and secure her own tyrannical rule. Lightning, summoned by her dark sorcery, crashes outside the high arched windows, illuminating the grim scene within. The stones of the fortress seem to hum with power as Bavmorda begins her incantation. Ancient, guttural words spill from her lips, and the very air begins to warp and shimmer. Swirls of magical energy, tinged with sickly greens and purples, coalesce around the altar, forming a vortex of pure destructive force. The prophecy is on the verge of being undone by this single act of ultimate evil. But wait. Hidden in the shadows, a small figure watches, his heart pounding but his resolve firm. Willow Ufgood knows he can't match Bavmorda's raw power, but he has a different kind of magic, a magic of wit and illusion. As Bavmorda raises her ceremonial dagger, preparing for the final terrible strike, Willow summons all his concentration. He performs the sleight of hand trick he learned from the Nulwinds, a simple vanishing spell, but he pours every ounce of his courage and hope into it. For a moment, nothing seems to happen. But then, as Bavmorda's eyes lock onto the altar, she sees the baby is gone. Vanished. A split second of confusion is all it takes. Her concentration breaks, the carefully constructed ritual collapses in on itself. The raw, untamed magical energy, now without a target, turns on its creator. With a horrifying scream that echoes through the hall, Queen Bavmorda is engulfed by the very lightning and dark magic she summoned. The vortex consumes her, a blinding flash of light, and then silence. The evil queen is no more. What an incredible finale. The tension, the magic, the cleverness of Willow turning a simple trick into the key to saving the world. It's a perfect example of how courage and heart can triumph over brute force. If you loved revisiting this epic moment, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite fantasy films. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. The first rays of dawn stretch across the sky, painting the clouds in hues of gold and rose, just as they did on the day this whole incredible journey began. But the sunrise is different. It carries with it the sweet scent of peace, the quiet hum of victory. Look there, on the horizon, a familiar figure emerges from the morning mist. It's Willow Ufgood, our hero, finally home. The village, once gripped by fear, now awakens to the sight of its champion returning. He looks weary, the road has been long and fraught with peril, but his steps are firm, his spirit unbroken. In his hand, he clutches not a weapon, but a book of magic, a symbol of the power he's discovered not in ancient spells, but within himself. The villagers pour from their homes, their faces alight with joy and relief. Cheers erupt, echoing through the valley, a symphony of celebration for the little man with the biggest heart. His children run to him, their small arms wrapping around his legs, their laughter the sweetest music he's heard in an age. And then he sees her, his wife, her eyes shimmering with tears of joy, runs to him, and they collapse into an embrace that speaks volumes of longing, of fear, and of a love that endured the darkest of nights. This single, heartfelt moment is the true reward for his bravery. And what of the catalyst for this entire epic? The tiny, precious baby, Elora Danon. She is safe now, nestled securely in the arms of her new protectors, the roguish but valiant Madmartigan and the brave Princess Sorsha. A new family, forged in the crucible of adventure, stands as a testament to the hope she represents. As Willow looks upon them, a gentle smile graces his lips. He didn't just save a baby. He helped unite a kingdom and discovered the hero he was always meant to be. The darkness has been pushed back, not by a mighty sword, but by courage, friendship, and the unwavering power of love. The adventure is over, but a new, brighter chapter has just begun. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey. If you enjoyed this story as much as we did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more epic tales. We'll see you in the next video, in a world whispered about in hushed tones, where ancient prophecies lie dormant and shadows stretch long over forgotten lands. A new story is about to unfold. For centuries, the balance has been kept, a fragile peace maintained by unseen guardians. But now, a darkness stirs, a forgotten evil clawing its way back from the abyss, threatening to consume all that is good and plunge the world into an eternal night. The signs are everywhere, if you know where to look. The rivers run black, the crops wither in the fields, and a creeping fear poisons the hearts of the people. Old alliances have crumbled, and hope is but a flickering ember in a gathering storm. They say the age of heroes is over, that the time for magic has passed. They are wrong. Destiny often chooses the most unlikely of souls. A young boy, Willow, with a spirit brighter than the coming dawn, and a heart untouched by the growing despair. He never sought greatness, but greatness has found him. Drawn into a quest far beyond his village, he will journey through enchanted forests, across treacherous mountains, and into the very heart of the encroaching shadow. He won't be alone. A band of loyal companions will rise to stand with him, a wisecracking rogue with a hidden past, a stoic warrior bound by an ancient oath, and a mystical enchantress who sees the threads of fate. Together, they must rediscover the lost magic, confront terrifying beasts, and face an enemy whose power seems absolute. This is more than just a battle for a kingdom. It is a fight for the soul of the world. It's a story of courage, of friendship, and of the extraordinary power that lies within the ordinary. When all other lights go out, a new one must be ignited. Every legend begins somewhere. This is the hidden chapter. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more exclusive content. See you on the other side.